Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to get into some pruning. I've already been out there about 3 times this week working around the property, doing some pruning. I'm going to put it all in this video, or most of it, and didn't prune it all last year, so things are really overgrown this year. So I want to, get back to the property looking a little better. You want to do this now, meaning, you don't want the buds coming out on the trees, and, if you take care of it now, your tree, shrub, whatever you're pruning, it'll heal up and it'll have time to get acclimated before the warmer temperatures arrive. So anyways, let's get started. Today I'm working on cutting and trimming around these nice evergreens behind me to encourage them to grow better. Also, before the brush type things like privet start growing and overtaking. See how this privet is? Just encroaches on everything. I could cut it all down, but then that leads to problems like putting something else in there, and this does absorb a lot of water that runs downhill. Same story in here with these pawpaws. You got the privet creeping up on them, and there's some kind of a vine in here, so it's actually leaning toward the evening, late afternoon sun. So we want to encourage it to grow straight up a little more by cutting some of this out of here. I think some of this is mock orange in here as well. See how I'm cutting that at the Y? It keeps those pointy ends from poking people's eyes out, and they're just sharp anyways. So I always like to cut around that Y here. I missed that one for some reason. So this in turn would encourage a better canopy, which would fruit more on the pawpaw trees. So when you're planning on planting, this is 6A, there's 5B, all within this little area. Your 6A type stuff, like -19, it got through this winter. That 6A stuff ain't gonna cut it, so you play it safe and go with 5B. As far as hardiness zones go with plants and shrubs, if you're gonna plant them. A lot of dead tips on these junipers in here, which we're gonna cut them back. Just had a rough winter. They got buried in the snow and then kind of trampled over. So just clean it up a little bit. Before spring's in full effect, we'll get some new growth on here. There is an unbelievable roar going on right now, and I'm not sure where it's coming from. It sounds like it's that way. It's very turbulent. The rain started coming from that way, this way, and then it switched from this angle, and now these winds are just detrimental. Always afraid of losing this tree here. Hope it makes it through yet another windstorm. So that was intense and scary. Prince, he is notorious. He knows when these things are coming, because last minute I was in the house before I moved the vegetable plants back in, he had already been underneath the couch hiding. So he senses these storms. He does not like wind and thunder. So I'm in here along the garage, the other side, trying to cut this brush back, just so we can get back through here. The property line's over a couple feet to my right. Don't want the stubby stuff sticking out or up. Like I got the better right here. We'll go in, you know, like right in here with that one. So it's basically underneath. You know, this one's going to be tricky. You know, because that was already cut and it's in the way now. I think we'll cut it right in here. Or try to. So yeah, you just kind of got to use some judgment and think a little before you cut. See right there, a nice little underneath cut. Those are the best ones if you can do it. This is actually a vine growing up in here. Yeah, it's anyone's guess what's growing in here. You know, when stuff gets to be this crowded out and overgrown, you know, you invite a lot of other things that aren't so nice. Usually the invasive stuff finds their ways in places like this. And you also gotta know when to quit. More wind, more rain. So all this stuff we cut, we're gonna rake it, put it behind the garage. So this damage is new. I'm not sure if it's from lightning or wind. More than likely from the windstorm. Parents. Hey, buddy. You're not very talkative today. That's Eastern red cedar. Those are deep, deep wounds. I don't know if it'll bounce back or even recover from this. So I've been saying it's the most beautiful tree on the property, and it's had a large canopy almost with 2 branches. It definitely provided a lot of shade, but there's something definitely wrong with the world. This was not even 48 hours ago. We had hurricane force winds through here. It'll take a lot of getting used to. Hey, Cupcake. Enjoying the weather. So up in here are these Eastern red cedars, and there's several of them around the property. Very old trees. Very pretty to look at. When I first got here, they were magnificent, and they just got old since I've been here. I thank you all for being here, and thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you on the next video.